mwyn i'r holl adnoddau hynny weithio, mae angen i ni ei storio yn rhywle. Mae technolegau annewyddadwy fel solar, ffotovoltaig a gwynt yn ffynonellau ynni ysbeidiol. Nid yw paneli solar yn cynhyrchu ynni pan nad yw'r haul yn tywynnu, ac nid yw tyrbiniau gwynt yn cynhyrchu ynni pan nad yw'r gwynt yn chwythu. Rhaid i ni storio ynni gormodol a gynhyrchu'r yn ystod defnydd brig, mwyn atal gwastraff, caniatáu ar gyfer cydbwyso llwythi, a lleihau aflonyddwch. Mae llefydd i storio ynni'n ddiogel ac effeithlon dal i fod yn her fawr i beirianwyr. Gadewch i ni edrych yn agosach ar rhai o technolegau storio ynni mwyaf addawol. Mae storfa ynni dŵr pwmp yn cyfrif am dros 94% o le i storio ynni byd-eang. Yn aml, gelwir y dyfeisiau hyn yn batris dŵr, ac mae'r dyfeisiau hyn yn defnyddio disgyrchiant i gynhyrchu trydan o'r dŵr a bwmpiwyd yn flaenorol o ffynhonnell is i gronfa ddŵr uchaf. Efallai enghraifft fwy cymedrol o ddyfeisiau storio arnewyddadwy yw'r batris ffosfad haearn lithium, fel y rhai a ddefnyddir gan cawr y car trydan Tesla. Mae gan y batris hyn ddwysydd ynni uwch. Maent yn llai peryglus i'r amgylchedd ac nid ydynt yn mynd ar dân, yn wahanol i batris ion lithium. Gallant hefyd gyflawni effeithlonrwydd trawiadol hyd at 92%.
There is a difference in what's needed for a mobile storage battery compared with a stationary storage battery. So if you take the example of an electric car, you want a battery that can allow your car to drive very fast. You also want it to charge up very, very quickly, so you're not waiting on the motorway to recharge your battery for very long. You also don't want it to be very heavy because you want a car to be able to move quickly without having to drag a very heavy battery along with it. And we use the terminology energy density to describe how much energy is stored within a battery per unit kilo.
I'm Richard, I'm the founder of Electric Classic Cars. We are essentially the largest converter of classic cars in the world to electric. And here in the workshop we have about 18 cars at the moment going through that process of converting them to electric. So what we have here is a really interesting project. This VW camper is actually going to go down to COP27 in Egypt later on this year, and it's a complete net zero journey that he's going to be doing in it. So he doesn't want to use any carbon-based fuels whatsoever. So he's going to be using pure renewable electricity to travel all the way from the UK to COP27 in Egypt. So we're converting this at the moment. We've got the gearbox out. We're going to put an electric motor onto that gearbox. And inside, we've already figured out where the batteries are going to go. So if you want to take a look inside, I can show you where the battery is going to go. It's a complete Tesla Model S 100 kilowatt hour battery pack we're putting in this, which should be around about 200-mile range. And because he's going to be living in it as well, it's really important to keep the internal space practical. So we've got a battery pack underneath here and a battery pack underneath the rear seat as well, which folds out as a bed. And we've even changed the gas cooker that was inside here to an electric cooker as well. So all of that will be powered off the big battery, and we've even got some solar panels on the roof as well to help with the journey.
Gweithaf y cyfyngiadau presennol, mae gan batris lawer iawn i'w gynnig i'r gynhadaeth net zero. Enghraifft, gall technoleg batri deallus gydlynu'r cynhyrchu, storio a ryddhad o ynni yn ôl i'r grid. Mae'n chwarae rhan mewn rheoleiddio a chydbwysau cyflenwad ynni. Mae celloedd tanwydd hydrogen yn dewis arall i dechnoleg batri ar gyfer cerbydau trydan, oherwydd ei hunig gynhyrchion yw trydan, dŵr a gwres. Mae River Simple o Landrindod yn gwneud car eco sy'n cael ei bweru gan gell tanwydd hydrogen. Yn y dechnoleg hwn, mae'r hydrogen yn pasio trwy bilyn cyfnewid proton yn y gell danwydd, lle mae'n cyfuno ag ocsigen i ffurfio dŵr a thrydan. Yna, mae'r trydan yn llifo i'r moduron ym mhob olwyn. Mae'r moduron hyn yn fach, yn ysgafn, ac yn rhoi gyriant 4 olwyn i'r car.
Hydrogen, it's element number 1 in the periodic table. It's the most abundant chemical in the universe. 75% of all matter is hydrogen, so it's out there, it's available. Our take on it, the hydrogen fuel cell, we use a particular hydrogen fuel cell that uses a pair of membranes, they're polymer, and where people are familiar with electrolyzing, we do the opposite with a fuel cell. We fire hydrogen at an anode, an air and oxygen at a cathode. The anode will then split the hydrogen into protons and electrons. When that happens, you want the protons to go towards the cathode. They then rejoin with the air to form water and a bit of heat. But the bit that's really exciting is when you put the electrons out of it, we send them through another path and they output electricity. So clean energy split from the hydrogen element.
Bod celloedd tannoedd hydrogen, dim ond yn gallu gyflawni effeithlonrwydd is-optimaidd o lan I 60%. Byddai llawer yn dadlau bod dim ond ychydig mwy o amser sydd ei angen ar y dechnoleg hon I gael ei datblygu I gystadlu â batris traddodiadol. Rydym wedi dysgu am y gwahanol fathau o ddyfeisiadau storio ynni a sut y gallai hynny helpu I leihau'r ôl-troed carbon.
Carbon capture utilization, it's actually something extremely simple. So first of all, let's look at the words. Carbon, it's connected to carbon dioxide. So we are talking about capturing and using carbon dioxide. We know the reason of that. Carbon dioxide is causing global warming, and it's really necessary to capture CO2 and to put it to use. When we talk about carbon capture, what we are thinking is a system similar to a tree. A tree, for example, naturally under the sun through photosynthesis uses carbon and convert it into cellulose, into organic material. However, in chemical engineering, we do it with facilities like those behind me. So it's an engineering approach rather than a naturally based approach. So if you were standing in front of a carbon capture system at this very moment, you wouldn't be really excited. It would be probably a pipe made of metal, where, however, there is a lot of technology put into it. In the pipe, you have a material which is called a carbon dioxide adsorbent. It's just a sponge, okay? A very, very well-engineered sponge, able to separate CO2 from different gas streams, including air, for example. So in this pipe, you have entering an emission, which is a mixture of CO2 with other gases. It could be emission from a steel-making factory, for example.
Ar hyn o bryd, mae yna 51 gyfleusterau CCS, a raddfa fawr yn fyd-eang, o rhai sy'n dal I gael eu datblygu, I rai sy'n gweithredu'n llawn. Gall carbon hefyd gael ei ail-ddefnyddio, yn lle storio ei draws newid mewn I blastig, concret neu fiodanwydd.